Welcome back, Rad Dads. Walter Eggers here with you yet again. Welcome back to another Thursday episode, a microsode, and of all things, episode number 20. You know, I cannot thank you enough for sharing and getting the word out there, because the numbers are growing. We've got over 1,500 downloads at this point, and we've had some phenomenal guests, and there's more to come. This episode is yet again sponsored by Audible. Now, do you like reading books? I love the information in books, and I have this huge list that started just about New Year's resolution time. And the list keeps growing. Unfortunately, I never tick off any of the books on top because I never have time. Well, Audible has the solution. Head on over to audibletrial.com/WeRadDads for your free book and your free trial of audible.com. Free. Cost you nothing. You get one free book, and you can select from one of thousands of titles. If you want something inspirational, they have that. My former guest, Dr. Laura Markham, her book is on there, Peaceful Parent, Happy Kids. There's fiction, nonfiction, fantasy, science, history, anything you want. And if you're listening to a podcast, this is your cup of tea. So head on over to audibletrial.com/WeRadDads. And if that's too much, head on over to any of our show notes on the webpage, www.weraddads.com, and click on the Audible banners. It'll take you right there. Easy peasy. Please continue sharing. Share it with a friend, text forward, all that good stuff. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to call on you to leave a rating and review. And we're going to take some time here and read a couple of our ratings and reviews. So if you want to be featured on the show, go over there and leave us a rating and review. Simple. All right, let's read a few of these. The first one is by Ashley Taylor Yanello. It says, Walter brings a very inspiring approach and lots of useful and much needed wisdom to dads all over. This is a very needed podcast, as parenting is not an easy job. Ashley, thank you so much for that. And yes, exactly. That's the exact point of We Rad Dads, and I'm glad you recognize that. And also that you recognize this isn't specific information just at single dads. It's for parents all over. And I feel really good in knowing that has been recognized. I know that's something I spoke about in episode 0, but Ashley, thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention. The next one is by CTSJKA. It's entitled Great Show. It says, Walter is a great guy, and this is truly a great show. He is genuine, passionate, and it's obvious he really cares about other dads out there. It's very encouraging to see a single full-time dad share what he's learned about being the best parent possible. Good stuff. So happy to have that recognition. Thank you very much, sir or madam, for leaving a review. And here's one from a former guest, actually. It's by Larry Hagner. If you remember, Larry was episode 11 and is just a phenomenal guy. I have almost daily contact with Larry currently. And this was not something I'd ever ask for. This is the kind of person he is. So, dads out there, rad dads, notice that this is the community that we're building. You know, we're there for each other for every possible reason. And Larry's a fantastic example of that. So if you haven't already, go back and listen to Larry's episode 11. And he's full of just awesome nuggets. Larry's review is entitled Awesome Show for Dad. Walter is a rad dad, and his show is inspirational. He keeps it real. He keeps it fun. He is a passionate father. The best thing we can do in life is create the change we want to see in the world. Walter has done just that with this podcast. Make sure you check out his show and connect with him. He puts his whole heart into this work. Larry Hagner from the Good Dad Project. Larry, I cannot thank you enough for literally everything that you've done, not just to be a guest here, but to be my friend and be someone that I can bounce things off of. So, there it is, Rad Dads. You're in the company of amazing people, and I would appreciate if you would go and leave a review like this. Let everyone know whether or not you like Rad Dads podcast. I really hope you love it. But if not, let me know. Like I said, email me and or leave a review. That's the whole point here, is I would love to have your review.
What really resonated was, she said your kids need a happier father. And then she shared a story with me about a friend, a close friend of hers who was my age. Kids were my age. He was on his third marriage, and he had finally found the love of his life. Great spot. And he found out shortly after he got married that he had cancer. I forgot what kind of cancer it was, but it was very fast moving. And within a handful of months, he was dead. And so she shared that story with me, and she said, dude, get your
Salt
together. I mean, seriously, you got to do that. So, that was the moment for me where I'm like, you know what? You're right.
That was an excerpt from my interview with Steve Roy, the Single Fit Dad, episode 13. And he just shared with us a little bit of perspective on his very concrete aha moment. It lends directly into what I'm going to talk about today. I want to share with you yet again something that happened to me. It was really kind of a shock. I was scrolling through Facebook and I read something from someone I had known from, even childhood. Actually, two people that I've grown up with in my hometown. And I read a Facebook message and it just completely caught me off guard. I thought it was one of those inspirational things, or sometimes repostings occur where this is unbelievable situation and there's some moral there, and but that's not it. It was a genuine post, and it just that absolute state of disbelief kind of got me. And I want to share with you a story of Penny and Mark. I wanted to tell you about their story. Penny and Mark grew up in my hometown, and it was a very, very small town. I think the population at best was like 1,500. Yeah, small. And Penny and Mark grew together and were, sweethearts since, I want to say, junior high, all the way through high school and afterwards. I don't know what happened, but after as close as they were, they ended up separating and going their separate ways. And Penny ended up marrying another man. Penny ended up having 5 children with her then husband and was living her dream life until Penny's husband suffered from mental illness, and I want to say bipolar disorder, at which point eventually it came to a head shortly after the birth of their 4th and 5th children, twins, that the safety of the family was in jeopardy. Penny soon divorced her husband and was left to raise 5 children on her own. During this time, Mark was in the Navy and had returned from serving our country. Penny and Mark soon got back together, and Mark ended up being a parental figure for these children for a time being, and all was going well. The high school sweethearts were back together again, and life was going well. My family and their families are so close that they might as well be actual blood family. Recently they were married, and now they're expecting. In fact, I just saw them in Easter, and things were going well. Back to the Facebook message. Today I picked up Facebook, and you hear about these stories, and you always say that had never happened to me. And I'm sure this is the case, because I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine. The post went something like this. My loving husband woke up this morning and was coughing up blood. After taking him to the ER, the doctor promptly informed us that he has lung cancer. And it went on to talk about their faith and their hopes and prayers. And I would call upon you to keep them in your positive thoughts, to keep them in your prayers if that's what you do. I know I will. It hits home, because we're about the same age. And given their circumstance, given their to-be 6 children, given their history and everything they've gone through to get to this point, to finally be in the home stretch of marital bliss and a happy family, then this happens. So what's the point, Walter? The point is that life is too short. Life is too short, and it's fragile. Life is too short to hold grudges. Life is too short to dwell. Life is too short to writhe in anguish and anger, and to let those things rob you of the wonderful times that are around you. You may think you're going through some hard times, and there's no doubt in my mind that you are. But trade places for a moment with Mark and Penny. I'm going to say it again, and it won't be the last time either. Adopt a philosophy of gratitude. Be thankful for your situation. Be thankful for what you do have. Now I'm pulling for Mark. And I really hope this is some sort of misdiagnosis or minor problem. I'm not a doctor, but given the symptoms, I'm not sure what to make of it. This could happen to any single one of us at any time, be it, heaven forbid, some sort of accident or sickness. And in those moments, if you found yourself in the clutches of leaving this earth once and for all, what would be most important to you? What would be the things that you would say, and who would you say them to? Don't wait for that moment. Do not wait until something like that happens to you. Live your life in a way that you won't have to say those things. I'm not going to apologize that my voice is quivering with emotion, because I really believe this. I feel this. I want this for every single one of you out there listening. Live a life so as to be an example to others, to leave a legacy for your children. Should you ever leave, heaven forbid, before you're ready. Don't spend a single moment ruminating on what could be. And if you're going to take time and reflect, make sure you do it from the vantage of gratitude. Gandhi said it, and I hope you hear it. I hope you know this before I'm going to say it. Be the change you want to see in this world. People will rarely remember what you said, but people will always remember how you made them feel. Time is the great healer. You're probably struggling, recovering from some sort of wound, emotionally, physically. I don't know what it is. I think we all are. I think we all also know that weeks, months, years from now, this won't even be a blip on the radar. To Penny and Mark, I love you guys, and I wish you the best. Please let me know how I can help you and your family. To the rest of you listening out there, I hope you take this example and you start living your life every single day from this moment forward in a way that, should you make your final exit at any moment, you wouldn't have to worry about the burdens of regret. This may sound weird, but I hope you understand my intent. I love you guys, and I'm pulling for you guys. I'm doing everything I can to give you the tools, the knowledge, the wisdom, whatever you need to reach your next stage. Everyone wants to know that they make a difference. You're no different, and neither am I. Take a moment to connect with me on Facebook group or via email at walter@weraddads.com. You can make these changes. It's never too late, and time is the great healer. Life is too short. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and this provides the perspective you need to start living a fulfilled life today for you and your family. Say it with me now, Rad Dads. Stay up, stay connected, and stay rad.